indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike. Would you take roll, please?
Yes. Chairperson Larry Fox.
Here.
Vice Chair Mike Mitchell, here. Commissioner Tom Murphy, he's absent. Trustee Summer McMillan.
Here.
Commissioner Sue Grissom.
Here.
Commissioner Jim Mayer.
Here.
And Commissioner Matt Ekman.
Here.
All right, thank you, Mike. Next up, item 4, approval of our meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Commissioner Grissom, second from Commissioner Ekman. Any changes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up, approval of our July 11, 2024 meeting minutes.
So moved. I mean, yes.
Yep,
I made
you're
that
good.
Motion.
Support.
Say that right.
All right. You're good. Motion from Commissioner Ekman, second from Commissioner Mitchell. Any changes to those minutes? Hearing, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up is item 6. This is a call to the public. If you're here for any reason other than the public hearing and wanted to make any comments, now would be the time. If you want to make comments on the item 7A, we'll have an opportunity during that time. Didn't think so. All right, so let's move right on to item 7A. This is a public hearing. To explain how a public hearing happens here in Heartland Township and actually any community, I'm going to open that meeting here in just, or that section of the meeting here in just a moment. We'll turn the meeting over to our planning director, Troy Langer, who will give us a brief introduction. Then we'll invite the applicant up or representative and anything they would like to add. We'll then let the public have any comments that they have. We'll close the public hearing, and then we're going to take a look at a staff review letter that we have in our packets here this evening. So with that being said, I will open the public hearing at 7:02 p.m. for the applicant Dustin Proctor, who wishes to establish a landscape nursery at the site location of 5239 Fenton Road, tax ID number 470802-400-004. And for the record, all public notice requirements have been met. So with that, we'll turn the meeting over to Troy.
All right, thank you very much. Let me start off by explaining where this is located. This is a zoning map of Heartland Township. If you started at the major intersection of US 23 and M59, there's a lot of different ways you could go, but ultimately we're going to be between Clyde and Reed Road off of Fenton. So we're going to be up in this northeast portion of the township, up in this area. It's zoned CA, Conservation Agriculture. So this is the area that we're going to be talking about with respect to this request. And it was mentioned that the applicant is proposing or intending to do a business here. They've already been operating here for a number of years. I just want to point out, this came to the township staff's attention via a complaint of the township was working on a complaint in a different location of the township, and that complainant decided to find other businesses and complain about them. Not a neighbor, not an area, not somebody around here. It was a different, in a different part of the township. That's how the township became aware of it. We introduced ourselves to the owner and explained, unfortunately, you do have to apply for a special use permit to operate on the property. So that's how this kind of came about. This is an aerial image of the property from June 8th of this year. This would be Fenton Road, which is a north-south road. This is the applicant's property. It's about 10 acres. There's a house, there's a couple of barns on the property, and the applicant is going to use this property for their landscape business. They have a site plan Now, this is inverted, slightly different, so north would be not to the top, but to the left, if you will. Fenton Road is at the top, and so you can see their home and some of the barns, and then they've identified on their site plan the areas on their site that they would use with respect to their business. And you can see in the CA zoning district, this is what this property is, that a landscape nursery, if located on at least 10 acres, is only permitted by special land use permit. The applicant has the requisite 10 acres. They're just seeking the special land use permit as outlined here in the zoning ordinance. So that's a little history of how this came about. It's a little procedural information on what the process. After the Planning Commission makes its recommendation, the applicant would still have to proceed to the Township Board for a final decision. So that would be the end of the process at that point. And with that, that's an overview of the project as well as the process. I'll be available to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, thank you, Troy. Did you guys want to add any comments yet?
We're good at this time.
You are, okay. Anybody from the public like to make any statements? Come on forward, just give us your name and maybe your street address, and then anything you'd like to say.
My name's John McLean. I live directly across the street from these folks, 5200 Fenn Road, and we're in favor of it.
Okay,
They've been good neighbors, and I don't have any problems.
all right. Thank you very much. Anyone else? All right, we will close the public hearing at 7:07 PM. We'll take a look at that staff review letter. Let's just take a peek at it, dated August 1st, 2024. If you want to come forward in case there's a question or you have something, please feel free.
I knew you'd get me up here sooner or later.
I was afraid to not get you on camera. Want to introduce yourselves and then?
Yes, good evening. My name is Wayne Perry with Design Engineering. We put together the plans for this application. With me here this evening is the owner of the property, one of the owners of the property, Dustin Proctor. So if you have any questions, we're here
Okay.
to answer.
All right. Let's take a look at that staff review letter dated August 1st. I'm going to begin on page 3, packet page number 7. Down at the bottom, you'll see special land use review general standards. As we're all aware, we have these general standards for a special use that we take a look. The applicant's consultant, Wayne Perry, Design, has gone in and provided answers to those, and that letter is dated July 17th, 2024. Everybody good? Have any questions?
No questions.
Are we all good down there? All right, so let's move to page 4. Up at the top, we have some special land use review standards. These are found in section 4.38. I'll run through these, and along the way, if you have anything, please stop me along the way. Driveway location complies, setbacks comply, the lot width complies at 904 feet with a required 150 feet. Loading and parking, all of it is in the rear, so it's really not an item for here. Troy, you want to touch on the storage real quickly?
I will. You have to remember that section 4.38, let me pull it up here so you can kind of see it. It's a set of standards in our zoning ordinance. This applies, this is really written for our commercial businesses that want to have outdoor storage. The landscape nursery business we're talking about references this, but this is really designed for a commercial business that wants to do some outdoor storage. And in our commercial businesses, we get very detailed site plans. We are not, staff was not requiring that level of detail of site plan on this kind. I think the plan the applicant provided in this case is very good and more than sufficient for what we're looking at this place. However, if you look at those standards, it talks about drainage, it talks about a lot of stuff, stormwater, I can't really make those kind of determinations, but I don't see that there's any concerns with this 10-acre property with respect to that, if that makes sense.
Okay. Any questions for Troy on that? Comments? All right, let's move on. Number 6, sales and display areas. Not really having anything. The nursery area is currently a field. Screening, there is existing screening on all 4 sides of the site, so we're all covered there. Moving over to the top of page 5, we see we have some plant material, nursery standards, minimum setback requirements, complying with everything there. And I think probably 8B sort of falls in line with some of what Troy was just mentioning on item 5 on the previous page for storage of materials. Do we have any questions on any of that? If not, I'm going to move right on to the site plan review applicable standards. As noted, it can be in the CA zoning. It's a 10-acre parcel. Everything has pretty much been discussed above. Are there any more questions for the applicant or his representative? Everybody good with what we got going here? If you're so inclined, there is a motion on page 1 up at the top. Troy, I noticed it looks slightly different than what they look like lately.
Yeah, that's a good point. It used to be, we read the entire motion, word for word, the findings, all of the conditions. It wasn't until, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago, we decided to abbreviate that to something to the effect of move to approve based on what's in the staff report. We utilized a prior special use permit, and that probably was an oversight. If you wouldn't mind, if whoever decides to make a motion to just simply move to recommend approval subject to the subject to the items outlined in the staff memo dated August 1st, that would be sufficient. It used to be, this whole front page plus part of the second page was actually read into the motion at one time.
Yeah, we remember.
Yeah.
I think Sue did that most of the time.
Yes.
So I'm off the hook from now on.
There you go. Would anybody like to make the motion that Troy has just commented on?
Move to recommend approval of site plan with special land use application number 24-007. This is a request to establish a landscape nursery as a special land use at 5239 Fenton Road. The recommendation for approval is based upon the Planning Department's memorandum dated August 1st, 2024.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Mitchell, second from Commissioner Grissom. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. So let us see. Call to the public. Anybody else? All right. Planners report. Troy. Anything?
No.
Don't do it.
We know that line.
Item 10, committee reports, comments. Anybody? All right. Item 11 is an adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Support.
Grissom and Mitchell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Very good.